You know that feeling when someone says something to you and you just stand there. You do not say anything back. Maybe you even smile. Maybe you laugh it off. But later, alone, you keep replaying it, wishing you had said something, wishing you had done something different. And the worst part is not what they said. The worst part is that feeling afterward, like somehow you just let them win again, and you are not even sure how it keeps happening. Here is the truth. Narcissists do not win because they are smarter than you. They win because they figured out one thing about you. You always respond the way they expect you to. Your frustration, your silence, your need to explain yourself. They count on all of it. But the moment you stop giving them what they expect, they have no idea what to do next. Today, I am going to give you 5 tactics that narcissists genuinely cannot stand. Not aggressive tactics. Not confrontational tactics. Simple, quiet moves that cut off exactly what a narcissist needs to stay in control. Your reaction. Stay with me, because tactic number 3 is the one most people never think to use. And it is the one that shakes narcissists the most. Tactic number 1. Go gray rock. Here is what that means. When a narcissist comes at you with a comment, a dig, a guilt trip, whatever it is, your instinct is to react, to defend yourself, to explain, to push back. And that reaction is exactly what keeps them coming back. So you do the opposite. You become the most boring person in the room. Short answers, flat voice, zero emotion on your face. If they ask you something, you answer in one sentence. If they make a comment designed to sting, you look at them and say, "Okay," and that is it. Nothing more. Not because you do not care, but because you made a decision. You decided that this person does not get access to how you feel anymore. Here is why this works. Narcissists are not actually after a fight. They are after a reaction. Any reaction. Your anger feeds them. Your sadness feeds them. Even your attempt to stay calm while visibly struggling feeds them. But genuine boredom? Genuine flatness? They have no idea what to do with that. Think of it like this. A narcissist is a fire. Every reaction you give them is oxygen. Gray rock removes the oxygen completely. And a fire with no oxygen does not just shrink, it dies out entirely. You do not need to explain this to them. You do not need to announce it. You just do it, every single time, and watch how quickly they start looking for someone else to get a reaction from. And once they start looking elsewhere, tactic number 2, make sure they cannot pull you back in. Tactic number 2, the one-word answer. Here is something narcissists do that most people never notice until it is too late. They make you feel like you owe them an explanation for everything, every decision, every plan, every choice you make. Why did you go there? Why did you say that? Why did you not tell me first? And without realizing it, you start explaining yourself. Every single time. You give them the full story, the context, the reasons. And the moment you do that, you handed them exactly what they needed. Because now they have material. Now they can poke holes. Now they can twist it. So you stop explaining, completely. They ask why you went somewhere. You say, "I wanted to." They ask why you made a certain decision. You say, "It made sense to me." They push for more. You say, "That is just what I decided." One sentence, no details, no justification, no apology in your voice. Here is what most people do not realize. You do not owe anyone a full explanation for your own life. And the moment you stop providing one, the whole dynamic shifts. Because now, there is nothing to argue with, nothing to pick apart, nothing to use against you. They will push. They will say you are being difficult. They will say you are shutting them out. That is fine. Let them say it. Your decisions do not need their approval to be valid. One word, one sentence, and nothing more. That is all it takes to cut off one of their most powerful tools completely. But cutting off their tools is only half the battle, because narcissists have another move, and tactic number 3 is the only thing that stops it cold. Tactic number 3, refuse the bait. Narcissists are extremely good at one thing, throwing something out there, a comment, a comparison, a little jab, and waiting for you to grab it. Because the moment you grab it, the moment you react, you just handed them control of the entire conversation. Here is what it looks like in real life. They say something like, "Wow, I am surprised you actually pulled that off." Or, "I mean, it is good for you." Or they bring up someone else. You know, Sarah would have handled that differently. Every single one of those is a hook, designed to make you feel small, designed to pull a reaction out of you. And if you take it, if you defend yourself, if you explain, if you get visibly upset, they win. Not because they were right, but because they got exactly what they came for. So you do not take it, at all. They throw the comment out. You let it land. You look at them for 1 second, not angry, not hurt, just completely unbothered. And then you continue whatever you were doing before they opened their mouth. That is it. No comeback, no explanation, just nothing. Here is why this one is so powerful. Narcissists expect a reaction every time. It is the entire point. When there is no reaction, when you just continue like nothing happened, they feel something they are not used to feeling. Invisible. And that feeling is far more uncomfortable for them than any argument you could ever win. Do not grab the hook, ever. Let it sit there, and watch them realize that it did not work. Now, you have stopped feeding their need for reactions, but there is something else you have been feeding them without realizing it. And tactic number 4 cuts that off completely. Tactic number 4, starve the ego. Here is something most people do not realize about narcissists. They do not just want your reaction. They want your validation, your agreement, your admiration, even something as small as a nod, a laugh at their joke, a "you are right" thrown in casually. That is their food, and you have probably been feeding them without even knowing it. Think about how many times you said, "You are right," just to keep the peace. How many times you laughed at something that was not funny because it felt safer than staying silent. How many times you complimented them just to avoid the tension that comes when you do not. Every single one of those moments fed them. And a well-fed narcissist is a confident narcissist. A confident narcissist keeps pushing. So you stop feeding them, completely. No more "you are right" when they are not. No more laughing at comments designed to put you down. No more compliments offered as a way to manage their mood. You are not rude, you are not cold. You simply stop handing out validation you do not actually mean. Watch what happens. They will try harder at first. More jokes, more grand statements, more moments designed to pull a reaction from you because they can feel the supply drying up and they do not know why. And when nothing comes back, when the validation they counted on simply stops showing up, something shifts in them. They lose their footing, because without your approval propping them up, they have a lot less to stand on than they thought. Stop feeding the ego, and watch how quickly it starts to shrink. You have cut off their reactions. You have cut off their validation. Now comes the final tactic, and this one is the most important, because it is the one that ends the whole thing for good. Tactic number 5, the clean exit. Most people think walking away from a narcissist means you have to explain yourself first. You have to make them understand. You have to get them to see your side. You have to end things in a way that feels resolved and fair and mutual. That is never going to happen. And waiting for it to happen is exactly how they keep you stuck. Here is the truth. You do not need their permission to leave a conversation. You do not need their understanding to walk out of a room. You do not need closure from someone who was never going to give it to you. So when you are done, you leave, cleanly, quietly, without a speech. They start going in circles. You say, "I am going to stop here," and you walk away. They push for more. You do not give more. They follow up later demanding an explanation. You say, "I said what I needed to say." And that is the end of it. No long goodbye. No final argument. No attempt to make them understand one last time. Because that last attempt, that one final try to get through to them, is always the thing that pulls you back in. Every single time. Here is what the clean exit really does. It sends a message that no argument, no comeback, no guilt trip ever could. It tells them, you no longer have the power to keep me in a conversation I am done with. And that message lands harder than anything you could ever say out loud. You do not need the last word. You just need to leave and not come back. Here is what all 5 of these tactics have in common. None of them require you to be mean. None of them require you to fight. None of them require you to become someone you are not. They just require you to stop doing one thing. Stop handing over what a narcissist needs to stay in control of you: your reactions, your explanations, your validation, your presence. Because here is the truth about narcissists that nobody talks about. They do not target weak people. They target good people, people who care, people who try, people who keep giving chances because they genuinely believe things can get better. That is not a flaw. That is who you are. But it is also exactly what they count on. The moment you stop being that predictable, the moment you take back control of what you give and what you do not, everything shifts. Not because you changed who you are, but because you finally stopped letting them decide how this goes. Use these tactics, starting today, not tomorrow. Today, drop a comment right now and tell me, which one of these 5 are you using first? I read every single one. And if someone in your life is dealing with a narcissist right now, send them this video. You might be giving them exactly what they needed to hear today. See you in the next one.